They stole his first term as president. These absolute liars who run around trying to act like they're the protectors of democracy completely ruined it, tried to undermine it at every turn and at the highest levels with lies, with out and out lies that were really serious, and changed foreign policy and changed the course of history in this country in Trump's presidency. And there must be accountability. There has to be actual criminal accountability for those who lied. And I can't wait to see.
When Megyn Kelly went after Barack Obama, she didn't just debate him. She tore apart his carefully built image piece by piece. No polite words, no sugarcoating. She exposed what she saw as the truth. A presidency full of hype, missed chances, and media praise that, in her view, wasn't earned. If Obama's political career was a blockbuster TV series, Kelly made the case it had a flashy pilot, a smooth-talking lead, and an ending that felt like the writers ran out of ideas halfway through.
One presidential daily brief that was about to go to Obama in December of 2016 saying, the Russians, they didn't succeed in interfering in any meaningful way in our election. They did not hack voting machines, and it was going to downplay Russian interference. And then they stopped the presses. Obama interfered and said, hold on. And there was a memo saying, per the president's directive, and they're going in a new direction. Lo and behold, what happened next was we're going to do a new assessment and we're going to see what Russian interference was. Immediately, the media started reporting it was here.
Obama entered the White House riding a tidal wave of hope so big it could have powered an entire state. People thought they were getting a political revolution. What they got, Kelly argued, was a masterclass in marketing. Catchy slogans, iconic speeches, but not nearly enough delivery. Like ordering a 5-star steak and getting a kale smoothie. Technically food, but not what you were promised. Take his biggest achievement, the Affordable Care Act. On paper, affordable health care for everyone. In practice, a confusing maze of websites, penalties,
and others are zeroing in on the notion that before they sat with Obama, they were going to tell him no attempts to hack our election infrastructure. And Andy will later argue them later coming out and saying, but lots of attempts to interfere in the election in general and totally to help Donald Trump. He's saying
skyrocketing premiums. The launch of healthcare.gov was such a disaster it felt like a bad comedy sketch, except the joke was paid for with taxpayer money. And then came foreign policy, where Obama sold himself as the peace-first president. Yet under him, drone strikes exploded in number, and parts of the Middle East began to look like video game maps. For someone who won a Nobel Peace Prize, Kelly would point out, his military record told a very different story. His handling of Syria was the perfect example. He drew a bold red line against chemical weapons.
If we do not do at least one clip from the Barack Michelle Obama appearance, the podcast, because everybody thinks they're getting a divorce, and let's face it, they probably are. She dragged him onto her show with brother Craig, and the following took place. Here's how it started in SOT 36.
Barack Obama, can you join us on
Come
our
on
set?
out here, brother.
Welcome
man.
to IMO. Look at you.
Weapons, then watched it vanish when it was crossed. Allies were confused. Enemies were emboldened. To Kelly, it sent one clear message. Under Obama, America's word was flexible. Meanwhile, Russia rolled into Crimea, and Obama's big response? Sanctions so weak they felt like passive-aggressive greeting cards. At home, his economic record was like one of those inkblot tests. Supporters saw a slow but steady recovery after the 2008 crash. Critics saw flat wages, exploding debt.
To that day 10 years ago, what I think binds it together, all these different strands, case upholding healthcare, a case declaring same-sex marriage part of our constitutional protections, of mourning. I think what pulls it all together is that no one person did any of that.
So he's sitting around on a June Thursday thinking about himself and his glory days.
And the Federal Reserve printing cash like it was running a Monopoly game. The irony? The man who campaigned on unity and change helped set the stage for one of the most politically divided eras in modern history. And then came the surveillance state. You'd think a constitutional lawyer might be against mass spying on Americans, but under Obama, the NSA's powers grew like it was on steroids. Edward Snowden's leaks showed just how far the government had gone in collecting our data, all while the administration claimed it was for our own good. And for someone who promised transparency, Obama ran one of the most—
lie got pushed out there by Brennan at Obama's direction, and we're seeing what Brennan used to push the lie. One was Steele dossier, which this points out as it fell apart, and the guy went to him, CIA analyst, to say, it's fallen apart. We can't use this. He said, yes, but does—
most secretive administrations in decades, going after whistleblowers harder than almost anyone before him. Then there was the celebrity factor. Obama loved the spotlight, late-night talk shows, March Madness brackets, viral videos. Sometimes it felt like he was more comfortable roasting political opponents at the White House Correspondents' Dinner than cutting real bipartisan deals. Even his big wins in diplomacy came with fine print. The Iran nuclear deal was praised by fans as a huge step forward, but critics saw it as a short-term bandage that gave Iran legitimacy without solving deeper problems. The Cuba thaw looked great in photos, but left Americans wondering, what did we actually get in return? In both cases, the optics were perfect. The results? Not so much. The media often treated Obama like a political unicorn. Scandals like—
you add it all up, even the year, if the odds were you're going to be married to your partner for 50 years and 10 of those years could be bad,
You'd sign up for it.
You'd sign up for it.
You'd sign up for
it.
Right.
And that's really how it works out.
Is it, Michelle? It's not. I've been married for 17 and a half years, and not one was bad. I think she and he married the—
like Benghazi, the IRS targeting controversy, and the VA hospital crisis made headlines but never seemed to stick to him the way they would with someone less media savvy. His gift for dodging criticism was unmatched. He could turn a tough question into a heartwarming story before you even noticed he'd changed the subject. By the end of his presidency, the gap between his soaring campaign promises and the messy reality was impossible to ignore. Fans remember the hope and the history-making moments. Critics remember the missed chances and contradictions. Obama's presidency was a masterclass in branding, a polished production that kept people watching even when the script was falling apart. And just like any well-produced show, it ended with the star taking a bow, confident the applause meant victory, even if half the audience walked away wondering what they had just—
point that he was determined to help Trump and get Trump elected was a political hit job that they then leaked to the media immediately, as you pointed out the other day, that before the homework assignment was even completed. In other words, Obama said, go back and change your report. They had leaked to the media what the conclusion of it would be. They had one goal and one goal only, which was to undermine Trump.
They had just watched. In the end, Obama's legacy is a paradox. The man who promised unity left more division. The man who promised peace continued quiet wars. And the man who promised change delivered mostly tweaks. And that's exactly why Megyn Kelly, and anyone else with a sharp tongue, will never run out of material. Barack Obama's post-presidency isn't about quiet dignity. It's about mastering the art of self-promotion, wrapped in the language of public service. Every time he steps on a stage, he carries himself like the world is waiting for his next big policy breakthrough. But in reality, it's just another perfectly rehearsed story, complete with dramatic pauses, designed to keep the audience nodding. And lately, there's even been gossip about trouble in the Obama marriage. Both he and Michelle posted matching, highly choreographed Valentine's Day messages online. But then he was spotted courtside at a Los Angeles Clippers game without her. A few days later, he was having a fancy dinner in Sherman Oaks with his daughters.
Speaking of Barack Obama, he decided to drop a post on X today, and I thought, okay, maybe in the wake of the Pete Hegseth presser, he's going to say something like, no matter how you feel about the Iranian strike, hats off to our, boys in blue, our guys in the bombers. He went a different way. This is what it was.
Curious how you're thinking about this eulogy specifically in the moment and all the tensions that you just brought out.
I didn't even want to talk. I was so mad. Part of the reason I think I ended up having anything to say at that moment was when I heard some of the victims' families forgive the shooter. And I thought, all right, let's see if maybe this is a way America can.
Malia and Sasha. Again, no Michelle. She didn't attend Trump's inauguration, didn't show up for Jimmy Carter's funeral, and you'd have to dig to find a recent photo of them together. The rumors write themselves. Meanwhile, Obama's public image has been polished to the point of losing all authenticity. This isn't the statesman reflecting on the hard truths of governing. It's a brand ambassador selling a lifestyle. He's perfected the influencer formula. Sprinkle in a little moral outrage, toss in some inspirational buzzwords, and top it all off with a photogenic backdrop. The reality? His signature achievements were often patchwork compromises, pleasing no one completely, but marketed as monumental victories. It's the political equivalent of a fast food sandwich.
Meeting was held. It was called and held, including all of Obama's top people, all of them. And they had a big meeting on this, and the next day, things changed dramatically on the Russia narrative, and changed in a way that would support the Russia allegations that would go on to undermine the entire first term of
heavily advertised, mildly satisfying, and gone before you know it. And yet, he now speaks out about government dysfunction as if he wasn't a central character in that drama for 8 years. It's a clever act. Play the wise elder while pretending the mess had nothing to do with you. The media eats it up, treating every word like prophecy from a mountaintop. And the most enduring part of the Obama brand? Selective memory. Supporters are encouraged to remember the speeches, the swagger, the magazine covers, but not the disappointments. Every flaw gets rebranded as a lesson learned, every shortcoming as unavoidable. The result is a figure more myth than man, untouchable to his base, even as the historical record grows more complicated. Strip away
fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team. What's it called? I can't remember the name. The Clippers, thank you. Game without her. And the LA Clippers. And then with Steve Ballmer, who's the owner, he's been on this show. And then on Tuesday, he was spotted eating out at a fancy dinner in Sherman Oaks with both daughters, Malia and Sasha. But again, no Michelle, according
away the stage lights and branding, and you're left with a legacy of half measures, safe bets, and a talent for staying above the fray, while still leaving fingerprints on the very mess he claims to rise above.
Record. They can pretend all they want that it's just tabloid fodder that has led people to think they're on the outs. That oh yes, he appeared without her, here or there, and people no. Okay, first of all, she didn't go to the Trump inauguration. She didn't go to the Jimmy Carter funeral. He's been spotted out at basketball games and out to dinner with their daughters repeatedly without her. You'd be hard pressed to find a recent picture of the two of them